Vengo a ofrecerme hoy. Remamos. Remamos.
Welcome. It's happening. It's time. We're here together. So good to see so many beloved faces and new ones that are just coming into my field. My name is Veronica Anderson. I'm here as part of the RDI core team to get to know you, to share about me, and to facilitate this adventure together. I'm so honored to be here with three incredible creative geniuses that I'm going to be inviting to share themselves with you. And a big part of today is also us getting to know you as well. So feel free to turn on your camera, come as you are. If you have to move around the room, no worries. We're all friends here. Uh, Everyone in this space is someone you know by 1 degree of separation. And everyone here is deeply beloved by the four of us. This creative core has invited you as someone who's intimate with our work and has been journeying with us and knows us and feels our hearts. And so this resonance that you share with the person who invited you today is shared by everyone in this space. And we are a group of 23 people right now, spanning the entire globe. And we're going to have a chance to ground into what it means to be part of that mycelial network in just a moment. But first, I would love to invite my beloved Kath to come forward and help me to open the space and welcome you today.
Thank you, Vero, and thank you everyone for being here and share space today with us. As Vero says, you are very special for us, for some of us, and we are co-creating a community. And thank you for taking time for receiving us and making space in your daily lives. I hope you are listening well. And okay, I took today the task from Vero to be here in front of you and share my heart, open my heart, and open the space today. And yes, I have the honor to co-create the space with Steven, Veronica, and Ganga, but also invite all of you to create, to be as you are, to be and feel welcome today here. And this is a time where we are sorry, I'm super excited and nervous at that time. Yes, like I feel super vulnerable at that point, and but at the same time feeling cared and shared and seen and heard. And that's the feel that I want to share with you, that you also feel seen, heard, and shared. So welcome to our little circle with our little family. And yes, and I'm really excited to what we are presenting today. It's a lot of work of years. And I hope you resonate with our hearts. Thank you very much. Last time in our last meeting, I told Vera that this is really important for me to make you know why it's so important for me to present or to tell you why are you here. why I extend the invitation to my personal intimate group. And it's because I feel this regeneration movement, it's also being touched in your lives, like you are already applying that. And I am really impressed and honored to share friendship with you. And I really believe in that. That's why my heart called your heart. On my heart, it's inspired by your hearts. So thank you for being part of my life. And I'm happy to let me be part of that. So I hope you can also be open for what is going to happen today. And yeah, thank you for support us from wherever you are. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kath, for helping us to weave deeper into connection. And it's important that we take some time to really deepen now into that state that we're in. And so we'll be inviting Ganga to come in with some grounding moments, because we're here gathered not to build something fast, but to seed something true. This isn't a meeting, it's a remembering of what becomes possible when vision is rooted in coherence, kinship, and care. Come on in when you're ready, Ganga.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. And thank you all for being here. So I just want to invite all of us to get into presence with our bodies and with the body of the earth. So just to begin with, wherever you are, noticing your body, noticing your posture, inviting yourself to consider, if I were to do something that would make me 2% more comfortable or bring 2% more pleasure into my experience right now, what would that be? And if that, I see people like adjusting their bodies a little bit, but at any point, if that means like getting up and getting a glass of water or, making some adjustment to your space, grabbing a blanket, anything like that, just know that that's really welcome. And I want to invite us all to just take a look around our physical spaces off the screen and around the environment that we're in right now, just helping our nervous systems to signal, that we're safe, that there's no lions or tigers or bears lurking around the corners, that for this moment and this time, we are here, we are safe, and we can really be present with one another. And I'm going to guide us through a little bit of a meditation visualization that helps us all to connect more with ourselves, with the place where we are, and with one another, to create a more coherent field during our time together today. So at first, I want to invite everyone to write in the chat where you are right now in the world, in whatever phrasing and by whatever name feels most meaningful to you. And begin to feel into what that place means to you. Beautiful, thank you. So I'm coming to this call today from Roseland Gardens, Florida, just steps away from the land where I was raised, which was for 10,000 years the center of the Ais civilization. The Ais have been gone from this land for 300 years now. But I very much do all that I can to cultivate relationship with them in every way possible. And I welcome and encourage you to take a moment and connect with the many layers of relationship through deep time and deep ecology that you have cultivated with the place or places that you call home. And returning again to the breath. I invite us all to drop a little bit more fully into our bodies and into the body of the earth. If it feels comfortable and safe for you to close your eyes, you are welcome to do so. And just begin to sense into your body's sensations. What is alive in your body right now? What is speaking to you? Begin to see the spaces of sensation alive, like golden threads of light through your nerves, your fascia, everything that connects you within and beyond your body. And begin to see this golden web light up your entire body, constellating into a braided golden rope within your central channel, just in front of your spine. Glowing, whole, beautiful, strong. And begin now to see this rope, this woven thread, begin to move down like a taproot from your body into the body of the earth, moving through the surfaces beneath you, the built environment, down into the earth. Your taproot extends now through the organic matter beneath you, the topsoil, the subsoil, moving through weathered rock fragments and the memories of the past. And it begins to branch out, forming a deep and vast root system, exploring the body of the earth. There is life here and all the elements. There are aquifers, insects, memories. And as we journey deeper down and deeper into the body of the earth, we begin to find one another's root systems. First, encountering those who are geographically closest to us. Our roots reach out and greet one another in recognition, in gratitude, in presence. And we continue to journey deeper and wider together now, finding one another, all of us, each of us, and creating this network. Finding ourselves moving through the mantles of the earth, anchoring our love and care and connection deep within the body of this planet we call home. And we breathe together. Feeling the power of the inhale. And together the release of the exhale. Feeling our own bodies regenerating through this pulse of syntropy and entropy, the in-breath and the out-breath. And keeping this root system intact, in place, connected. We now begin to bring our awareness up and through the web, back up through the layers of the earth, back up into our bodies, in place in this present moment. Still connected, still rooted, but fully here now, together. This meeting is happening at the closing of Earth Week, in a moment and with a prayer that we collectively may contribute to the creation of a future in which the earth is honored, celebrated, and respected as kin every day by everyone. So we open with this question, which I invite each of you to feel into for yourselves. Why are we here today? And if you're still in that deep place, I invite you to begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes, bring sensation and presence to all of your body. And when you're ready, I hand it back over to you, Veronica. Or I suppose to you, Stephen, to share the slides.
We'll do our shift. That. Thank you so much, Ganga. Oh, as I was down there in the depths of the heart of Mother Earth, I felt that we have always been connected, that these roots are always there. And that is just the fact of it. And yeah, I presence the beautiful web of life that we have from all around the world. And if you're able to scroll through the chat and just take a look at the way that we span many different continents and countries. And we do this grounding as a way to signify a shift out of the paradigm that we spend most of our lives in. Most of us live with the dominant thread of capitalism hanging over us. And this is the status quo that we move through. And I really invite you to let this be a shift out of that and a remembering of your body and your being. Here in Costa Rica, I can hear the roosters crowing, and it connects me with this agricultural society that's fighting off the influence of capitalism that would extract life from the earth rather than harmonizing in synchrony with the very forces of life that we have just connected with. So thank you so much, Ganga. And just say hello and welcome to California and Germany and Spain and Florida and the Ozarks and so many other beautiful lands. Thank you very much for showing up with your whole being, friends. And this is a time that, yes, I would love for Stephen, the mastermind behind the creative genius that you're seeing on the screen, to come forward and offer some background on this incredible deck that we're about to see. This presentation has been co-created by the whole creative core, the four of us, as a representation of the whole that we are. But Stephen has poured a lot of his heart and soul and essence into it. So I just want to invite you to take a minute to let us know what this visual identity that you've created for us means to you, Stephen.
Thank you, Veronica, for that invitation. I'm just so grateful to be working with such talented people, and really people that I have met through the Design Science Studio as what I thought were going to be collaborators, but what I didn't expect was to feel this sense of kinship between Kath and Ganga and Veronica and myself. And we've been on a journey together to figure out how we collaborate together. And this is one of the first expressions of us really bringing that into the world. So a big part of that is this question about the polarities that we see in the world and what feels like the breakdown that's going on all around us. But what we're recognizing is that while we're a generation that is witnessing a degeneration, we are also being called to be in a process of regeneration. And this is all of us coming together in images and artistry and design and architecture integrating the masculine, the feminine, the shadow, the light, the darkness in the world, and how we're transforming that into expressions of love and belonging and kinship. So that's where the logo comes from, is a sense of spiraling out, creating this motion of syntropy that is in relationship to entropy, that life actually grows out of the soil of death. And that recognition of the integration and the unity of all of it just feels like an expression of who we are as not just physical beings, but also emotional and intellectual and spiritual beings who are integrating all of those aspects of who we are into what we do in our work together, in the way we play together. And yeah, that's why we're welcoming you into this field, because it feels like this is a field where we get to play together. And it's a contrast to what else is going on in the world, where we can co-create and nurture our inner children. And that's where the development part of this process comes in, is recognizing we're all in different stages of development, and we're here to nurture each other as we play together. So I'm just grateful for all of you being here to be part of this journey.
Thank you so much, Stephen. And if you wouldn't mind advancing the slide, I'll invite Kath here to come on in and share a little bit more about herself with us. We're going to take the next 5 minutes to just rapid fire our introductions for you all, so you get a little more of a sense of who's here.
Okay. Yes, I am. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay.
You sound great. Yeah.
Cool. Yes. Kath. I am architect, but Stephen, I was really impressed when you described it, sensorial architect or sensorial landscape architect. I think it's a better definition. An embodied ecologist, and my work lives in the space between body, movement, and land. I see the body as a landscape and the landscape as a living nervous system. That's why I put this quote there: "I am the landscape that moves me." Like everything, what I experience in the landscape, the outer landscape, it's moving me inside and the other way around. And I try to be like more aware of that in any landscape experience, because everything I do begins with sensation. My background is in performance, somatic education, art therapy, and design. And I did experiences that help people feel themselves in place, connected to the place. I help them feel the ground through the concept of paisaje sentido, which means paisaje means landscape, and sentido comes from sentir, to feel, but also to have meaning. And yes, so I help people and communities to feel the ground, to feel their body and themselves through different kind of art therapy techniques, but also with my profession as a landscape architect, like to bring this inner and outer into playfulness. And I see design as a choreography, a kind of sacred listening, and I bring that to RDI as a way of making sure that what we build is not just functional, but sensorial, multisensorial, and innovative, also poetic and alive. So I'm really thankful and honored to be part of this creative core, and I'm sure we are carrying different kind of expertise, but also multiple disciplines and inspiring vibes that are connecting each other as a beautiful whole. Thank you.
So I'm so glad to be here. I'm Stephen Bao. I come from the world of systems design, product development, and digital infrastructure, but underneath all of that, I am a builder of invisible architecture. And sorry, I'm just trying to do multiple things at the same time, trying to pin myself in. So I'm exploring the frames of meaning that shape what we believe is possible. So my path has led me from working in corporate and design contexts into a deeper inquiry. What happens when technology becomes a vessel for transformation and not just functionality? I developed a framework called QUALIS, which stands for Quality of Life Systems. As a response to that question, it integrates measurable outcomes with physical awareness, human-centered data, and spiritual design principles. In RDI, I'm bringing that framework forward to support geodesign, platform development, and any tool we create from the ground of regeneration rather than extraction. And I'm also fascinated by metaphysical gravity. So that's what you see expressions of in this slide, where I'm looking at the unseen forces that draw people, ideas, and culture into coherence. And so my work is about designing for that level of resonance, whether we're talking about AI, GIS systems, or funding ecosystems. I want to feel like love, like coherence, like the future showing up in wholeness.
Beautiful. Thank you. My name is Ganga Devi Braun. I am these are the key points that I put in this morning. I'm a mother, an interspiritual minister, a ritualist, an integrity advisor, an essayist, and in human design, a vessel of love, which I just think is so delightful. I am drawing from a life that is wholly a childhood and an upbringing and all of my education that has been really outside of the matrix, outside of mainstream culture. I was raised in a pluralistic land-based community that taught me so much about both the beauty and the harm that is possible in the creation of alternative cultures and communities. You can see here, I'm incredibly passionate about pollinators. You see here a monarch caterpillar and honeycomb, and I'm really a huge curiosity and passion that I'm bringing into this work has been decades-long passion and curiosity about how humans can learn from eusocial insects like honeybee colonies to design our cultures and our ways of being with one another and caring for one another. And, this world, this future that we're all living in and co-creating together has vast potential for both beauty and harm. And I feel like I'm always kind of holding that dual piece with my dual and interwoven passions for both integrity in institutional and interpersonal and internal dimensions and of the world, as well as these two things of like deep love and deep commitment to integrity. I'm sorry, just one second. I think, did you lose my audio for a second?
No, you sound good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and both that interweaving of integrity and love into our regenerative movements is just a huge piece of why I'm here and what I am so passionate about what we're doing here.
I'm so glad you're here. Thank you, Ganga. My name is Veronica Anderson. I'm the initiator of this vision, but really I think of myself more as a listener. This project has been speaking to me for years, sometimes as a whisper, sometimes as an ache, sometimes as a very clear directive from something much older than me. My background is in architecture and systems design, but my path has led me deep into the body, into trauma work, ritual, embodiment, and the emotional intelligence that our dominant systems often forget to include. I've spent the last decade healing the disconnect between my mind and body. And in that process, I realized I was also healing the disconnect between design and soul, between structure and spirit. That's what RDI is for me. It's a bridge between technology and tenderness, between climate data and grief, between community development and the right to feel safe in your own skin. My contribution to this creative core is weaving the inner and outer architectures, what I call ensoulment. I hold the design of RDI's rhythm, the tone of its voice, and the ceremonial aspects of how we gather. And the slow knowing that regeneration isn't just about restoring ecosystems. It's about restoring trust, belonging, and the deep memory of what it means to be alive together. So I'm sharing with you on the screen a little window into the life that I lead in Costa Rica. The video that you're seeing is the process of moving through the grief that I felt when I experienced finding this massive tree on the side of the road cut down. And it's a feeling that I aspire to weave into this work that we're doing, the vulnerability of truly releasing ourselves from the exile from feeling and allowing that grief that we feel in the very soil of our being to blossom into the world that we're trying to build and to connect the inner and outer architectures, like I've done in the workshops that I've led for women and others. The physical spaces that I have built. This is a temple that exists here in Costa Rica that I designed and built with the land, and also in deep design workshops that I have guided with some of you here. So thank you very much for being part of our introduction. Yeah, I will go ahead and share the slides for the rest of our time together, Stephen, if you want to release the share. And the title of our session today is Naturalizing People and Place. This is a call that we received from our ancestor Robin Wall Kimmerer in Braiding Sweetgrass. This idea that we can reweave the relationship between humans and nature, that we can remember the places that we are more than just land that we stand on. They're systems that we're a part of, and even the fact that we are cells in the very body of the earth. And this is a really exciting moment for us to come together. We're an emergent constellation of regenerative artists, technologists, cultural architects, and spiritual kin, united by a shared devotion to inner and outer transformation. This is a gathering that we offer in honor of Earth Week, and we're so grateful that you're here at our first in the world moment, where we're sharing ourselves for the very first time as a unit, as a whole. And it's really vulnerable to be here and share with you these journeys that we've all been on, the deepest desires of our hearts, the very real calling that we've felt in our bones throughout all of our lives as professionals, as people, as friends and family members. And to weave all that together is really exciting. And to do that in honor of the earth is truly so fulfilling for us as people who hear the voice of the earth, who feel the urgency of the many different corners of her body that have been forgotten and neglected and underrepresented. And we're not trying to perform anything for you. That's not the goal. Today, we really want to weave coherence between and among all of us. It's not a launch, it's a remembering. And towards that end, feel free to use the chat as I'm speaking for the next 20 or so minutes. We really want you to feel like you're able to participate in this journey. So don't feel like it's a distraction. Get in there and connect and resonate what's in your heart. So the four of us are the creative core right now. And we came together through a magical emanation of the collective consciousness called the Design Science Studio. And this is a space that some of you are familiar with. We all journeyed through a year-long adventure with this online global studio of regenerative artists at different times. But this community of activists and story weavers and open-hearted souls brought us together. And we've experienced the way that our personal journeys have harmonized. And we experienced this thing that has come out of that synergy called the Regenerative Development Institute, less as an organization and more as a field. And so that's how we're introducing ourselves to you, because we believe that you're a part of that field. And so you are a part of our story. RDI is a nonprofit institute, in technical terms, for applied research, design, and learning. We're cultivating systems that heal and transform people, place, and planet through inner coherence, outer structure, and life-centered design. It's not a brand, it's a container for a new field, enabling people, practices, and projects that regenerate life. And so this is a moment to really emphasize the word regenerative here, as well as development. So we're familiar sometimes with regeneration as a design type, as an agricultural practice. What we mean by regenerative is bringing more life to systems. And what we mean by development isn't just land projects, although we're really interested in focusing on the way that humans and land relate to one another, and have decided to locate our nexus point around land projects. We're acknowledging that human development, as in my human development as an individual, is not separate from the development that we're doing on land, and that we want to unite in a holistic perspective what it means to develop regeneratively. So our core purpose is about empowerment, reimagining, and culture creation. We aspire to be of service to marginalized and underrepresented communities and their leaders with regenerative tools, technologies, and teachings. Many of us have been doing this work in real time around the world. And the practice of development, of developing places and people, is something that we have a new way of understanding that we're excited about sharing with you and learning from you about in return. We're reimagining development through love, which is often a word that it's such a big word. It's hard to bring into spaces where we're trying to communicate in a grounded and practical way. But we imagine the way that our very essence is defined by this higher love that moves us when we deeply desire connection with our own selves. That is the presence of this life force that's truly part of who we are. We also acknowledge the wisdom of our ancestors and really honor the indigenous wisdom that's behind what we are now offering in the world as regenerative development. And also the kind of ancient future technologies that we can build by bridging together new data systems and technologies and new ways of telling stories, along with these ancestral truths, these practices that have always been part of what it means to be human. And so we're weaving a new culture that bridges the old and the new, that centers spirit and offers planetary systems as a whole that together we are stewarding as the very birthright of what it means to be human. So I'm going to share with you 5 branches of our programming, and all of these are informed by our collective experience, the work that the 4 of us have been doing and which you've been a part of in many ways. So I'll start here with geodesign, which is part of my background. I have the first master's in geodesign in the world. It's just thanks to the fact that my last name starts with A, but I did go through the first program, and this is a really emergent technology that allows us to listen to the land, to understand and perceive the earth as a system that we are actively designing with. There's a system called GIS, Geographic Information Systems. It's a body of technology that I've been working with to conceptualize a project called Home Dash. Home stands for the heartbeat of Mother Earth, and it's a dashboard that allows us to truly see the heartbeat of the earth, where there is struggle, where there is success, and to tell that story. The regeneration movement has been going on for over a century, even longer, but actively in our collective consciousness, it has been fragmented. And so we really seek to unify an awareness of this movement by telling the story of local communities that are caring for planetary systems and building this new ecosystem intelligence. So we're bridging spatial data with emotional resonance to foster actionable awareness. And it's based on the idea that the overview effect, which is what happened when the astronauts first went to space and took a picture of the Earth, really truly allows us to connect with who we are as humans because we can see the greater whole that we're a part of. And so seeing that greater whole and feeling our place within it and understanding what's going on around us is what enables our lives and actions to be truly regenerative because we're able to understand how we're living as a part of the system. Another program branch that we're offering as part of our DNA is regenerative leadership and learning. We are all lifelong learners. The 4 of us, I can definitely speak for myself, are moved by a voracious desire to continue learning and growing. And I'm sure many of you are too. And so we also admire the people around us that have so much wisdom that has inspired us and helped us to grow into the people that you see today. And we aspire to create a platform that offers education rooted in somatics, trauma-informed design, emotional intelligence, and embodied presence, as well as these more technical regeneration practices that allow us to create truly alive environments. So this is about leadership as coherence, not control. And we really see the need for a way to legitimize the regenerative movement, the way that each person in this room is doing powerful work. And RDI wants to be a nexus point and a platform to offer a space for cross-pollination, interdisciplinary co-creation, and exchange in wisdom and values, so that we can become who we need to be as a collective to midwife this thriving world. And along with that, there's the research branch of our programming, which is really about storytelling. And this is where art, data, and spirit converge. Something about my journey is that I realized 7 years into it that I've been doing independent research the whole time. And many of us have this transdisciplinary interest where we're constantly seeking new information, we're testing out new theories, exploring new ways of practice. And so RDI wants to be a space where you can bring that practice to your peers and get inputs and test hypotheses in a really scientific way that isn't necessarily run by this traditional, conventional capitalist way of serving the status quo, but really serving who we are and integrating myth and metaphor and lived experience as rich research inputs that enrich our lives. And instead of focusing on the more qualitative aspects of the world, what about these quantitative aspects and understanding things like women's circles as a technology and understanding how ceremony can be used to value that as a part of our lives, so that we're integrating multiple intelligences, not just the intelligence of the mind, but the intelligence of the body and the heart and the spirit into a whole systems understanding. We have the programming branch of community, and this is sort of what we're piloting today, with all of us here together coming into community and acknowledging that we are already part of a community. Our roots are already deeply connected. And this is about designing spaces where trust, reciprocity, and kinship can grow. And we aspire to support community-led projects that reflect local values and relational resilience. So rather than just focusing on the infrastructure of a neighborhood, who are the people that are using it, and what is their relationship to the living world that they're a part of and that surrounds them? We're using this model of synarchy to guide our co-creation. And this is a word that has been popularized by Richard Rudd, who is the steward of the Gene Keys body of work. And the synarchy is what comes after patriarchy, if patriarchy is what came after matriarchy. Synarchy represents the holistic and equitable integration of masculine and feminine principles and energies, so that as individuals, we come to the table with integrated states of being in our integrated sense of awareness and sovereignty. And from that place of authenticity and accountability, we're able to co-create in ways that aren't based on competition or status or the things that have created weaknesses in our current system. So we're interested in exploring cultures of belonging that center care and this agency and rootedness in the self. And through all that, we're creating a new culture. We're all culture creators. There's more than one culture. We embrace a plurality of cultures. And through that, we're interested in changing the story of what development really means. As I mentioned, when we say development, many times we're thinking about cities and villages and communities in a physical context. But what about the village that is global and decentralized? What about that place that is more of a pattern, the people that come together through this resonance, just like us today? And so to do that, we're focusing on strategic storytelling and media that shifts collective consciousness, starting with publications and digital platforms that allow us to share frameworks that are participatory, and express advocacy that isn't just about domination and violence and that kind of power over, but more expressed through beauty and imagination and truth-telling, to invite a balanced idea of what justice really can be. So through and around, underneath and above all of those 5 program areas is our root system. And this could be considered a program area, but we want to empower it to be what it really is, which is the rhythm beneath our structure, the thing that provides coherence within our growth. And we believe that regeneration doesn't begin with spreadsheets or satellite data. It begins in the body, in the breath, and the remembered intelligence of relationship. And ritual, embodiment, and cultural healing aren't separate from our research or design work. They're mycelial threads that connect every branch of our system, from geodesign to governance, from education to advocacy. We're honoring the feminine, the cyclical, the sensory, and the sacred as essential design intelligences. And that is our work, to lead from this place. This root system grounds our leadership, it nourishes our community, and ensures that everything we grow stays in rhythm. This is the unseen pattern, the coherence that holds the rest. And it's how we ensure that what we build is alive, felt, and true. So this is the co-creation principle that really unites everything that's being shared today, which is that the body is the soil from which new worlds emerge. So why does this matter? Why have we brought you here today to be a part of this? Well, we're facing climate collapse. Communities are fractured, not just on the ground, but worldwide. And we're experiencing cultural confusion that isn't just an accident. It's also an intentional instrument of separation and disempowerment that the dominant sick system of degeneration has used and abused as a way to oppress the world's most vulnerable. Linear tools cannot solve spiral problems. We're in the midst of a poly crisis, a meta crisis that's also a meta opportunity. And so RDI is a vessel for repatterning through soil, soul, and system. And you're part of that system. And so we're inviting you to help us to inject more life into it by just being here, just showing up today. You've already helped us to do that. And we're going to share with you some next steps that can further our walk together. If you need to leave early today, please take a look at the link that I just put in the chat. This is a form that we're offering to support your expression of interest. If you came today and you resonated, please take as much time as you can to share yourself with us through that form. If you're staying for the next hour, don't worry, we're going to have time to do this together. But this is the first gateway or portal to cross in order to keep walking with us in this spiral as we ascend and deepen and move. And if you're feeling really lit up and inspired right now, if you feel like you want to keep walking together, if you feel like you want this field in the world to keep growing and living, I invite you in this moment to drop the word yes in the chat so that we can start to really see and feel the resonance. So if it feels like something is alive in you because of this conversation we've been having, just say yes. Just let us see you and feel you. I see the yeses coming through already. It's so good to feel you all. Thank you. What we really need is this relational energy. We need each other. That is the truest truth that has ever been told. We can't do this alone. We need humans who feel the call and to know that we share this frequency, we share this care and coherence. And we're going to have a discussion after this, so get your voices ready to express that into this space, because we know that everyone here has gifts and wisdom, and that's why we've invited you, is to really honor that. And we love to hear your perspectives and your perception. We really need your mirroring at this time. We also need others who can help to distribute the holding, who want to take up pieces of this field, who are already carrying pieces of the field. We welcome advisory, ritual, and storytelling, resourcing, and cultural building. We don't want this to be another North American-centric community. We really want to experience a world that loves itself, a global movement of regeneration and planetary healing. And for that to be done in an experience of security and safety that transcends what capitalism has sold us as security, so that we can share power and trust. And as we take these next steps together, we welcome your clarity as well. We want to see the emerging pattern more clearly, and that's why it's time to bring our circle out to the next level. We want to know that you're here, what support you're able to offer, and where energy wants to flow next. We have a big group of intuitive souls in the room here today. So this is not time for the closing. In fact, it is time for a little more presencing. I'm going to just invite everybody to take a sip of water, take a drink of the beautiful faces on the screen. I think we're going to go ahead and release the pins so that we can just maybe connect into gallery view and see who's here. Really see each other, feel each other. Come as you are. If you have to be in movement, that's fine. You're welcome. No matter what, to just show up. Thank you. Thank you for your kind attention and awareness. We're not going anywhere, but if you need to take a little break, honor yourself. It is time for us to deepen into why we're here, and harvest what's been rising in you. Going to invite Ganga to come in and facilitate that for us when you're ready, love.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, and it looks like a couple of people in the chat are just like taking a bio break. So I just want to fully encourage that, just reiterate that. But yeah, we're gonna just open the space for some kind of circle council dialoguing here. So before opening the space to that, I just want to invite us all to reconnect to that root system that we established and dropped into at the very beginning. And from that place of connection to that root system, bringing awareness again back into our bodies, and noticing from what you've taken in today, and the field that we're all in together, what do you notice in your own body? Are there areas where you feel excitement or curiosity or questions? And the question that I have for each of you, in opening up this space to hear your voices, is what is the potential that you perceive in the field that we're creating, and how would you like to contribute to that potential? So with that, I welcome you to speak from an integrated, mind, heart, and body. And I'm curious to hear and see how we all flow in the next little while. The space is open.
I can't help myself, but as a seedling, to have bear witness to the development and journey that you each have been on, and the paths that we've crossed along the way. And so to find myself curiously here, woven in, is just good enough for me. It sounds like something very familiar in a story that I've been waiting to be here told for many, many years. So the sense of friendship and community feels to me to be of the mythilium, the story that we're creating, that you speak of, that's in the depths of this planet that's held us for a gazillion years or however long this story is and will be. But to be in this chapter of it with y'all, I'm just here to keep encouraging it and help tell the story any way I can. Watching the seedlings grow.
Thank you,
Thank
Mark.
you. Thank you so
And
much,
we're
Mark.
so grateful for that. Yeah.
Yeah. And just to give context, Mark has been in the design science community from the beginning, and it's been an amazing process of growing together and going through moments of grief and recovery and healing, and that's where a big inspiration of the Synergy Seed came from, was Mark, Veronica, and I working together to be in that space of recovery and healing. And yeah, it's been amazing. Thank you.
Diane, are you trying to come in and share?
I can't find the little hand, so
Please do.
Hi everyone. I'm good. Hey, hi Travis. So nice to see some familiar faces and other beautiful beings here. So I see that you are birthing something beautiful that is really coming from your hearts and your purpose and your desire of creating a better world and doing things different. And probably all in this call, if you're being called to this call, we feel something similar. Like it's time to come together. It's time to do things differently. It's time to remember. It's time to become a new and old, as you were saying, way or kind of human beings that give back to earth and our nature and are deeply aligned with each other's and with ourselves. And I believe all this, and I do believe that what you have put together will have that support, that foundation for creating an energy field and new possibilities. And I'm a yes to come together for this. I also wanted to ask a clarifying question, because I wonder why are we here from your perspective. What is what you are trying to co-create with the people in this call? Because that's not very clear for me yet. Yeah, excited to hear about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniela. Gracias por estar. Yeah, you said. Daniela is a friend from the Regenerative Practitioner certification program at the Regenesis Institute, and many of you here are also part of that wave, which is exciting. And to be here today, gathering like this, we're really, as I mentioned in the next steps slide, looking for support, and we're going to be assembling an advisory council as our next step. And so as part of the form, there's an invitation to express interest in joining and taking on a formal role. But there are other ways to be part of the community without that kind of formality. And so we feel, like you said, that we're all resonating a similar call. And in this moment, we're inviting each person to really reach down inside and assess their capacity and curiosity to discover new ways of evolving together, whether that's through a more formal role with regularity and responsibility, or sacred witnessing and celebration as we continue to grow, or something else that we haven't thought of yet. So I hope that's clarifying. Feel free to come back in and respond, and all clarifying questions are open. Welcome.
Thank you.
I think one answer I would have for like, why are we here? It really comes out of a really strong desire for connection and for a sense of belonging and for kinship. And it's partly a trauma response, but it's also like just a deep longing of our hearts to go, we want something better for ourselves, for our family, for our children, for our world. And part of this is actually leaning into that question of, yeah, why are we here? And how do we respond? And I think that is, the core question of shifting from what am I going to do in all of this to what are we going to do, and a kind of reclaiming of power. And it was a sense of bringing, actually, it's very selfish in some ways, but also recognizing that honoring of self is an honoring of the whole, to reintegrate the parts of myself that felt like they were disconnected and not in community, in a relationship to the earth. I reached out to people who could be kin for me, and those were Veronica, who really represents kind of my heart and soul, Ganga, who represents my mind and spirit, Kath, who represents my body and senses, and then really bringing all of those parts of myself together to reintegrate myself. And it's been in this conversation, in this collaboration and co-creation, that I'm seeing really beautiful reflections of myself and who I could be in aspiring to be like these people that I'm working with, and then to extend that sense of kinship to others around us, to engage in that process together. That's really core to this, and what it grows into, actually not entirely sure, but I feel like the genius that we're all bringing to this, it invites a kind of a sense of nurturing that inner children, the inner children within us that that are already geniuses and want to be expressed in the world. And just this week has been really interesting, just bringing all of our skills together to bear to try to put on this event, and seeing what came out of that really inspires us to go, oh yeah, we can do this.
So well said, Stephen. I acknowledge that you have answered the deeper why, and I think there's an even deeper why or reason for being here, which is that this is what we're designed to do. Humans are designed to connect. We're meant to resonate with each other. And I too have experienced that sense of displacement and disconnection, and we've discovered that it is very healing and joyful to be in connection with the people that speak our language. And so this is an opening to be able to keep doing that, but with a greater body, with a larger sense of agency. And the development path that we've designed for RDI has 3 phases, going from infancy to childhood to adolescence before we move into adulthood. And so that's a process that we're looking at, allowing a whole year to really unfold with elegance and slowness and depth. So it's a perfect question, Daniela. I'm so glad that you came in to help us to inquire as to why are we really here. We're figuring that out as we go, and yet we know that we're deeply called by the very spark of life itself, to be here with you and to feel you, and everybody who's here in person and even watching the recording. There are people who weren't able to make it but still want to be a part of this journey together. So Ganga and Kath, you're also welcome to come in with your reflections, of course.
I can directly jump in, and I could say a similar reflection as you both. Like, I invited you because you are a reflection of me, and especially Fernanda, you are a reflection of my waters. Like, you have a deeply connection with your landscape, and I really know how you are connected with the ocean, and that represents my inner waters. And Mirko, it's my earth. Like, he represents my stability and my being on my own roots. And Malena, you are here also because you are the air, which is flowing with me wherever I go. And Mariam, you're also here because you represent my spirit, and you're really special for me. That's why I say at the beginning, like, it's like 2 intimate circles are coming together, and one of my purposes is to wave cultures and wave worlds, and that's what I'm trying to do today. And it's being also super vulnerable, because we are sharing different moments of my life, and it's really special to extend you as an invitation to participate as a community, as a family, as a wave of being here and in this moment for the earth. So thank you, really, I appreciate it.
Beautiful. And yeah, and kind of feeling into this question, where my mind is going. And I love knowing that you're part of the Regenerative Institute world. And I 1 year ago, like right now, I was graduating from from my journey through Regenesis as well. So I just look forward to weaving and connecting with others. And I personally have been involved in many different organizations and companies and like nascent nonprofits and different initiatives that have a deep like longing to be regenerative and a deep resonance with and often like claiming leadership in regenerative movement space that often have, and it's because we're all swimming in these waters, so we're all wet, but there's often like this really strong, heavy paternalistic cultural dynamic really present within that. And I just Googled to make sure I'm like using that word correctly, of like paternalistic, which the official definition is relating to or characterized by the restriction of the freedom and responsibilities of subordinates or dependents in their supposed interest. And that is also like creating, it's like predicated on having the structure of there being like people in authority and subordinates or dependents underneath that. And I think that that's really interesting. And that's in, you know, some core teachings of like, you know, deconstructing white supremacy culture. It's like paternalism is like this like really strong presence that's in organizations throughout our culture that comes from colonialism and from all of these legacies of all of these waters that we're all swimming in. And what we're really experimenting with here in like this core synarchy of the four of us, and what we're like beginning to open the field into is an experiment in different ways of organizing human capacities and the more than human wisdom that is constantly interpenetrating and informing all of our lives and lived experiences, and kind of living this question of like, what can we create from this place? So, you know, within the programmatic kind of pillars that Veronica shared, there's a lot of different in each one of them, as well as within their intersections. There are so many different kinds of artifacts that can be created, you know, workshops and, you know, events and lived experiences, you know, consulting capacities, services, like so many different things that can be created and offered to the world and to the future and to humanity. And we're at this, very early stage of beginning to widen the field. And I think that for me, there's something that I've been really longing for a long time, which is that I've been in and around a lot of these organizations. I am very close with many of their founders, but I haven't always felt that there is permission for me to bring my discernment and the both the potential and the red flags that I'm seeing. And so I tend to be quiet and sit back and just kind of observe. And from that, I think that there's a lot of power. I feel that I've been able to develop some pattern recognition capacities that if I had like jumped right in to say like, I think that this is wrong, or I think that this is like, you know, missing the mark, I wouldn't actually necessarily hold some of the perspectives that I have now. So I'm grateful that that was my instinct. And I'm so grateful to be in this space now with this group of people where I think a huge thing that we're emphasizing is creating the psychological and felt sense safety that allows for us all to be able to say, I don't know if this feels right, or like, I really think that this is possible. I'm so excited to build that together. And that is like kind of the core like frequency of the field that we're wanting to create here. And so opening it up to others to begin sensing into, and sensing into how your body and your discernment and your skills and the futures and the things that you have longed to create might weave into this is a mystery to us, and we welcome that mystery. We welcome learning and learning about each of us and about you and about the emergent properties that come together from this kind of co-creative, kinship-rooted way of being with one another.
I love it. I love that so much, Ganga, and that it inspired our dear friend to raise her hand. Come on in, sweetheart. Jaya, it's your turn to speak. Let me, do you need to be unmuted? I'll ask to unmute you, maybe that'll help.
Well, I just want to thank Veronica for inviting me to this initial gathering, and I hope to bring my presence and the skills that I've developed over the years to contribute to the collective genius of what will emerge, and to continue to explore the field of infinite possibilities together, where we get to hopefully create a self-sustaining platform that can inspire the world to towards more regenerative consciousness. So I'm here to be of service to that, to the creation of that collective self-sustaining field.
And we're so glad that you are, Jaya. Your wisdom is really an inspiration for this gathering. And you and I have been in deep conversation for over a year now about how we can bring more feminine practices of development into the world. And you're one of the people that helped me to work up the courage to jump into the regenerative practitioner certification. And yeah, big thanks for that. Your background of 30 years of working in architecture and development in Miami is such a wealth of experience, and combined with your deep emotional intelligence and your spiritual awareness, it's a really beautiful, for me, example of the kind of holism that that is possible in design and development in the world, and how necessary it is to create a space for that to be expressed. And so that's really why.
Thank you, Veronica, for inviting me. If I may just add that the work ahead to help shift consciousness in a world that is not aware, is just not aware, because this is the way we were raised. This is the container where we were nourished as children. So we're very ignorant. We're our the bulk of our culture is not aware. So I think that the task ahead to help shift consciousness, it is always easier to do it through art, design, and beauty than to shovel it down people's throats. So I am a big exponent of how art, poetry, design is the best medicine, for the lack of awareness in the world. So yes.
Thank you for resonating that as a possibility and a potential that you're seeing in our field. There are a lot of incredibly creative, talented people in this space, and something that we've been really excited about, the four of us as a creative core, is creating a zine and a platform for many voices to come together to share stories and poetry and art and beauty. And so hopefully you'll all stay tuned for how that process is unfolding.
Very much in the way that Robin Val Kimmerer educated us with her book Braiding Sweetgrass. I think that book was really a turning point in my life to want to join this alternative field. And it resonated with me very deeply. And I kept sort of, it was just in my being for weeks and months until I was able to process it, because she expressed it so beautifully through such poetry, even though there were such heart-wrenching truths. And I love that you mention her, because she's my greatest mentor through that experience that I had with how that book changed my life, brought me on a different path. So thank you for bringing her up.
Yeah, thank you for resonating the call. Really grateful for your presence today and always.
Well, I'll jump in. And during this Earth Week, it is so wonderful to be connected to fellow Earthians. And Ganga, I really enjoyed your guided meditation of us as mycelia, and that really resonated for what the potential of a group like this is. And a big thank you to Stephen for inviting me. And the visuals were stunning and really invite one into the conversation. So thank you for that. I really resonate with the inner and outer transformation coupling. I think that is essential. And I feel like there's a lot of wisdom in this group around that, which is really lovely. What I'm curious about and look forward to how it unfolds is, what does co-learning, co-design, co-implementation look like as people come together in partnership and co-creation? So I look forward to learning more about that and participating. So definitely honor and celebrate this remembering, this experiment, and look forward to being part of it.
Thank you, Kirk, for being here. It's been just such an integral part of this journey, working with Kirk, and the questions that you're bringing up around, learning and design and implementation, that feels like core to the journey that we're exploring. It is intentional to bring in people who are diverse in their creativity and expressions, not just in a professional sense, but also intellectually, spiritually, emotionally. But there's a recognition of our common humanity and this shared vision of, like, what pulls us together here is the sense of gravity, and that's why my particular project has been about exploring this idea that Buckminster Fuller brought into the field, is this idea that love is metaphysical gravity. And at the core of how we came together was this sense of love being at the core of each of our projects, love of the earth, love of spirit, love of of um, of the divine in expressions that are beyond the religious institutions, but more a common sense of spirituality that binds us all together. So that's where I've always felt like in design, we design who we are, a kind of a Marshall McLuhan-ish kind of way of like we're extending ourselves into the environment, and then the environment answers us. And the project, if no one others in this group don't know, Story.Earth is the project that Kirk and I have been working on together for a year. And it's a website that takes a look at the visualization, the maps, and the ways of perceiving our place on this earth, in relationship to all of these different spheres that make this life possible. And looking at that exterior feels like a way of also getting a look at ourselves, how the earth structure is really a reflection of our not just us. And that's part of this, is getting out of the anthropocentrism of the kind of current design paradigm, and bringing ourselves more into a life-centered, multi-species, and even more than human, beyond species, recognizing that we're embodying the universe coming into form in a moment of time, and then being conscious of itself. So that whole process just feels like, yeah, we want to be deeply in that mystery of how do we learn? How do we design and co-create our environment and allow that environment to form us as well, rather than it feels like the current paradigm of architecture is you build something and then you kind of like extrude people through it as an afterthought. And we're intentionally starting from the inside out. That to me feels like the shift in the paradigm around what design means and what it's for. And I've just sensed that as a UX designer, being in the world of design for so many years, professionally since 1988, and realizing that the profession is not moving in the direction that I want to go in. And this is our way of actually transforming what design means, and how integrated it can be with our relationship with the earth, with ourselves, with all living beings. And even just a question, what is life, is central to this. And the answer that often comes back from the people who have been most connected to the earth, indigenous peoples, is everything's alive. And what if we started with that proposition?
Thank you so much, Stephen, for weaving all of those threads together, and Kirk for inviting this curiosity about what does co-design look like. We'll have a little bit more to share on that in a few minutes, but I want to invite Cassie to come in and share your voice with us. I see her too, Francis.
Hey everyone, it's great to be here with you. Excuse me, I resonate with so much that's been shared today. Something that came through for me as the four of you were presenting, or it's something I felt really drawn to, was this idea of storytelling. And for something that could be my contribution is like, there's something about storytelling, and something that I share in my own work and that I write about a lot, is this connection between individual and collective healing and how they're so interconnected. And I see them as a sort of positive feedback loop where, you know, they feed into each other and they grow together. So I don't have like a specific idea for like what that looks like right now. I think I'd have to sit with it, but that came through for me really strongly as you guys were presenting. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Thank you so much, Cassie. Your
Yeah.
sensitivity and awareness of that interconnectedness is absolutely one of the reasons why we invited you here today. It's been such a joy to create space with you. Cassie, Stephen, and I have been engaging in a weekly writers space, gosh, for probably like a year now. And there's so many storytellers in the room as well. So you're in very good company. Thank you for sharing your voice today.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to say thank you so much for this evening. It was really really emotional what you are over what you're talking, and I think it's a really interesting place and connection between everyone here, because so many people from the whole world are connecting in this online online platform and think together, work together, and this is so nice. And when I have my view on the climate crisis, which is coming, which is in some parts of the world is reality, we have to think together, we have to have conclusions, we have to work together on this, and also work or build our environment, maybe the forests or the cities of the future, or the parks, the gardens, so care and maintenance of this green infrastructure, or green and blue infrastructure. So yeah, it's really nice that you are giving the people this space to think together, to work together, and I'm really curious what is coming next from you guys. So thank you so much. I wish you a good day. In Germany, it's evening, so we're going to sleep. But yeah, you have the day to work together.
Thank you so much for expressing all of that, and schlaft ihr gut.
Danke.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Francis, you want to come on in with your voice?
Hey everyone. First and foremost, it's an honor to be here. Grateful for the invitation and for the opportunity. Thank you so much, Veronica. It's also wonderful to see some familiar faces in the space. I resonate with everything that's being shared. Especially just coming from love and what is life, and how can we really embody regeneration within ourselves. I'm here to support, and pretty much I feel like what comes to me is discovery of what would be my role within the space. I'm personally very called to. I've been being called for a while now for very place-based initiatives and supporting of local communities. That's really what's like burning inside for me in this regenerative work. I'm a part of several wonderful online communities from the different thought schools that I am in, and they are very safe spaces for me, and they've been wonderful in my journey. But I'm now in this process of how do I bring together people that are in alignment to work in place in the projects and in the places that I'm focusing in. So that's kind of what's calling for me. I'm like more in the land-based projects. I'm not a facilitator. I feel like I'm being called into the educational aspect of things in some ways through Regenesis and also through my Regenerators Academy work, but I'm not quite there yet. So I'm interested in seeing how that evolves in the future. I started at 23 years old. I was already directing university in my country. And it was sort of not something I expected. So it feels like education keeps kind of pulling me back in. And obviously all of this, education is a wonderful, it's an essential means of transformation. So just very much honoring everyone that is here and everyone's presence, and honoring this initiative, and sending so many blessings and love to everyone. And I'm here to support and discover and co-evolve. Thank you.
And thank you so much for being here. Your presence on my journey has been a massive part of why we're here today. For sure, truly, deeply so grateful for the hard work that you're doing to make regeneration available to so many different people and places on Earth. You've been all across Latin America and the Caribbean, back and forth for so many years. You've got such deep roots in what regenerative real estate looks like. And I believe that your wealth of wisdom, dear sister, is what keeps pulling you back into that education space, because you truly are this embodied practice of living love in a regenerative way. And I really admire that about you. And it's something that I look forward to you being able to share with all the people in our space today and beyond, because it's what makes the world a better place, for sure. Yeah.
I also just want to, Francis, what you're expressing about education, I just want to presence it here. Well, and thank you for everything that you've expressed. A couple of weeks ago, I learned about this like 1-day conference that's happening at Harvard next week. And I felt the call to go there. I haven't traveled like at all without I haven't spent like a night away from my son since he was born almost like 2.5 years ago. But I'm gonna be heading there for 3 nights next week. And it's co-hosted by this organization, Life Itself, and the conference is Education for Flourishing. And they just published today a white paper on kind of the shift from like polycrisis to metacrisis, and the way that they're like thinking and articulating that. I see a lot of what Life Itself is doing. They're based in the south of France, but a lot of what they're doing is being very connected to what's emerging here. They have a whole mapping initiative. I feel that we're going to be, that there's a lot of fruitfulness in connections that are going to be made there. I felt called to share that, after you were speaking, just partially in case anyone here is connected to anyone else who will be there, that and if there's an opportunity to meet in person, I would love that. But I think that even in just preparing for this conference, I've been sensing into the many different ways that I personally relate to education, and the very many different expressions and manifestations of education that are possible and available to us, and realizing actually that education is central to every single professional thing I've ever done, but it requires some creativity to see it. And I was thinking this morning that I think the reason that I feel so called to education, and that education is present in everything that I do, it's not because I feel like it's like, oh, I've got so much to teach and to transmit, but it's because I'm constantly learning. And I know that the best way for me to integrate my learning is by teaching to others, and organizing thoughts, and kind of experimenting with how can education be most truly effective. And this is something that Buckminster Fuller was so emphatic about, was that in the future, when everyone's needs are taken care of, what we will do is educate one another. And he said that the only form of wealth that is true wealth that can't be taken away is know-how, is our ability to, and we can all like learn and teach one another in our know-how. And that, to me, know-how isn't just about like our practical skills, but it's about but it's also the wisdom of like know-how to navigate existence, to navigate metaphysical gravity, to navigate this world that we all belong to. So thank you for sparking so much with your share.
Thanks for resonating that, Ganga. For me, what I love about the word education is that it comes from the Latin root educare, which means to draw forth. So instead of trying to put things inside of someone's head, the true nature of education is remembrance. But we use the word learning in this space to try and separate us from the old systems of education that have really indoctrinated us more than helped us to remember. And curious if anybody hasn't spoken that is feeling a little quiet or shy, that just wants to presence themselves before we take some time to move on to filling out the form and practicing coevolution.
I just want to say hi. It's nice to witness you all. And I know a few of you, and I know that I know your energy for the rest of you. This is really cool just to be a tuning fork in this moment and to co-resonate with this. Like, it feels like a ripple of so many other works that are being seeded at this really massive shift in the world at this moment, and the returning to the earth. And I honor you, Veronica, for your architecture work, but your awareness of her as you step into not just the places, but also the fields and the nervous systems that will inhabit the places. So I want to honor that as the heart of this seed that you are planting, and see you in that. And thank you for inviting me to experience you all together.
Wow.
And
So much, Stephen.
I just want to thank Stephen for being here. He happens to be here just because of a chance meeting through an affinity towards the same podcast, the Liturgist. And to me, this feels like a kind of liturgy where we get to write our own sense of what's sacred and what we value and honor, what we want to protect and nurture in the world. And that feels like what we're being called to at this moment, is not just to accept blindly what has been inherited, but actually to be in this process of intergenerational wealth transfer that is about wisdom and knowledge. So that's what was coming through with that podcast that I was listening to yesterday from On Being, was just the importance in the Indigenous spaces of intergenerational wealth transfer as wisdom, and that cutting off of the languages and cultures is what we're regenerating, is bringing back our ability to create language and not just leave it to the hierarchies and the large machines to dominate those, the resonances. Like, we have voices and we can use them, and I think that's why we're here, is to really allow that expression to unfold. I see Alaska. Actually, this is the first time I'm meeting you, Alaska.
Oh, so grateful that you're going to get a chance to weave in here, dear friend. Alaska's been instrumental in our birth. Welcome, friend.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Alaska. And I had said to Veronica, or sent a message to Veronica earlier saying that I wasn't feeling able to speak openly. I'm at my mother's house right now, and she just passed on Sunday. There are some oppressive forces here, but and thank you, Veronica, for inviting me. But Stephen, I have to say, the things that you've said today have been so heartfelt, and I've just been moved to speak because of some of the things that you've been saying. So I am so so very much inspired and deeply believe that this work is important and now, and it's, for me, it's not even it's not a choice. And what you said just now about ancestors, about it, and I don't even remember right now what the other thing that you just said was, that that really moved me to speak, and it's one of these ideas that feel very slippery, because it is something that has been in my awareness forever, but has been buried by patriarchy, capitalism, and everything else to trick me into thinking other things. And then when these thoughts and feelings come up, the habit, I'll say, is to dismiss them as being, that's never going to work. But what I'm learning in my own practice, in my own recovery from these other types of influences, is that the way that my ancestors feed me, the way that my ancestors support me, is through my ability to work with the earth, through my ability to grow things. And then I don't know where this comes from, but the other thing that is so much a part of my being, that has been kind of I don't know, in dormancy for a very long time, is the ability to connect people. That is so important. It's always been important to me, but it's even more important to me now to be able to go into places that are maybe not traditionally set up or open to newer ideas, and speaking and getting people on board. It's really something that's really important to me, and that I'm seeing emerge from me in a way, and this particular movement, message, way of living is so important right now. So thank you all of you for being here. I mean, I feel completely in awe of all of all of everybody here, and there's so much that I can learn from all of you. There's so much that will inspire me, and I mean, I just look forward to the amazing future that that we can bring into fruition by connecting and being here together. So just thank you.
Thank you so much, Alaska.
Thank you.
Such a profound call. I see hands on hearts. I see tearful faces. It's really really good to hear your voice and witness you.
Yeah. Really moved. um, yeah, you've been instrumental in helping us explore what flow means in an economic sense. But when you talk about what's flowing here, it is really heartfelt. It is, in a sense, trying to restore flow to a heart that's been kind of stopped up for a while, and recognizing that in connecting to other people, I'm connecting so much to myself. And that's been part of the journey too, is wondering, what is investment? What is wealth transfer? A big part of Bucky's ideas involved capital transfer. And that was a deep intention of this, to recognize that there are injustices that need to be addressed and reparations made. And I was just looking for ways of doing that just didn't seem like they were available within the consumer investment space. And so it just seems so clear that we needed to do something different that was not just transfers of money and then hoping for profit from it. It's actually investing in ourselves and each other and restoring that flow to all of the earth. And I think money just tends to be like a metaphor for what we're actually doing in the world. Why is it all going to just a few people? Because these systems are set up to extract and to filter everything to the top of the hierarchies. And I don't think that's what the earth had in mind. and not just in mind, in heart, in body. Like the earth embodies a different way of being that doesn't respect borders, because it's a whole. And even the atmosphere itself is not a boundary that separates it from the rest of the universe. How do we be part of that flow that's going on within this whole system? So yeah, thank you so much. I'm deeply honored by everything you said, and we all are. Thank you.
We are so blessed to be in each other's presence today, and we have been gifted 2 precious hours of your very full schedules, and it is time for us to honor that and acknowledge that we're reaching the top of the hour and that some people might have to shift off into other spaces. We are going to stay and complete our programming, which is about another 15 minutes. So if you have the capacity to stick with us, you will be in good company, as you've seen and heard and felt today. We have this incredible inquiry. What does it mean to co-design? What does it mean to co-evolve and co-learn? And at this time, we want to invite you into the experience of what that might be. So in the chat, there is a lovely little form. It's more than just a survey. It's an invitation to become part of the mycelial network that sustains our becoming. And so we're going to take some time to work on that together. I'm going to offer some background music, and we're going to take 5 minutes and go together into this form. It's designed as a journey. So while you open it, I'll just narrate a little bit. There are invitations to explore your multisensory inner landscape that happen in the sections 2, 3, and 4. And this is actually our offering to you to not just show up, but to get engaged and even develop some new capacities. So Kath has offered us her multi-sensorial architecture experience to cultivate an awareness of your inner landscape through sections 2, 3, and 4. But I would like to invite you at this moment in acknowledgement of the time-space reality that we're co-navigating to skip to section 5 and jump right in and offer your witness, your testimony, your commitment to co-steward this field with us. In section 5, that's where we ask you to check a box or 2 or 3 that lets us know what you're able to commit to. And we're really looking to receive your consent to collaborate in a way that honors your readiness, capacity, clarity of desire, and relational integrity. So please start with section 5 right now, just so that we make sure that we get your responses. You can hit submit and come back later, or you can leave this open, and when you have a cup of tea and a nice spacious window, perhaps this evening or tomorrow morning, you can go through that journey of the senses and the inner landscape to revise or reconsider or deepen your responses, or just witness how attuned you really are to what's true in this moment. So if there are any questions, feel free to let us know. We're going to take 5 minutes here. You'll hear some music, so just prepare your ears.
Veronica, it's not letting me skip questions.
Well,
I think after the first section, which is
after
just
the first.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead and make sure you give us your email address and phone number, and then after that, it should let you skip. Thank you for clarifying. I hope that these 5 minutes have given you at least a good start. I'm sure it's not nearly enough to harvest all the wonders that exist inside of your soul. But we hope that you'll be able to make space to continue with your feedback. And you're welcome to do so as we close the space. Stephen has prepared us a small offering. But before I do that, I just want to check with Ganga and Kath and make sure that you're both feeling complete. If there's anything that you want to spread into the field, now is your perfect time to do so. I saw your thumbs up. Ganga, Kath, if you want to offer anything, you're welcome to come in. Or as collective gratitude or acknowledgement.
Yeah, thank you, Veronica, for giving me the word. I'm super grateful and honored to be here and to share space with you, to feel again the sacred space and feel safe to be here and feel in family, feel in connection with myself and with you all, and bringing a bit of my ancestors, my roots, and my deep interest and connection with the inner and outer landscape. It's really important for me, and to extend it to our community, to your community, and create a pueblo together. Thank you.
Well said. Thank you so much. Very, very good to bring us home to that intention, recognizing the pattern that is the place that we all are together. So towards that end, Stephen, I invite you to lead us out with a closing blessing.
Yeah, I'm happy to. So I am so honored that you are all here, and we together, I feel like we're making a declaration of who we are, even in the questions of who we are. And this is a collection of things that I've put together that I've called We Are the Regeneration. And I really believe that. Who are we? Who are we becoming? We thought we were separated, divided, individual, independent, alone. We are living, we are dying, we are learning, we are explorers, we are inventors, we are tool makers, we are storytellers. We are laughing, we are crying, we are joyful, we are suffering. We are thoughtful, we are emotional, we are rational, we are irrational. We are fearful, we're violent. We're empathetic, we're loving. We are stardust. We are quantum mechanics. We are the living embodiment of the integration of physics and metaphysics. We are beginning to understand so much. We actually know very little. We are awakening to the systems that we design that cause our own suffering. We are beginning to recognize that there is no other. There is only us. When one of us is in pain, we all suffer. When we experience joy, we all celebrate. We are a thin layer of life on a small ball of molten rock spinning in constant motion around a star spinning around a galaxy. We are held in the tension of the gravity that pulls us together and the expansion that pushes us apart. We are time and energy and matter. We are entropy. We are syntropy. We are architects of the future. We are growing in influence, capacity, and agency. We are surrendering the illusion of our mastery and domination of nature. We are reconciling with death, our imminent demise, by letting go of fame, wealth, and power. We are deluded by the stories we tell each other about what has value and what is worthless. We are ruled by the fictions we create, including celebrity, money, and property. We invented societies, economies, and policies. We may solve our problems by dissolving institutions, corporations, and nations. We fear loss of independence. We evolve and change through cooperation. We want to be left alone. We crave attention and connection. We are in conversation with reality. We are dividing cells. We are integrating ideas. We are thesis and antithesis. We are synthesis. We are the behavior of whole systems unpredicted by the behaviors of their parts. We are synergy. We are relationships of energy. We are conscious awareness. We are this moment. We are everything happening all at once. We are weaving a world of experience through perception, cognition, emotion, and action. We live with a memory of where we have come from, in the presence of where we are, in anticipation of where we will be. We are formed by language in intimate relationship with all that came before, all that is, and all that will be. We are a generation experiencing degeneration, so we can learn how to be the regeneration. We are how nature grows, reforms, and transforms. We are nature. We are the sun, the moon, and the earth, weaving light, electromagnetic radiation, and gravity as the shuttles of stars and planets move in cycles through the fabric of space-time. This is how universe is weaving worlds. We are life navigating metaphysical gravity and leaving traces of our path in the record of space-time, growing stories that began 13.77 billion years ago. We cannot fathom what will grow from our seeds as we perform this dance of love in the embrace of life and death. We are the seeds of an idea. We are a seed of life floating in the garden of space. We are not on the earth. We are Earth. We are the incarnation of the genesis of the unfolding and enfolding of time, energy, and matter. We are interdependent and interconnected. We are the medium. We are the message. We are the interface. We are a creative, collaborative, self-organizing learning community. We are exploring how we imagine, design, and build the future together. We are investing our time, energy, and resources in reimagining our social architecture. We are the invisible made visible. We are universe. We are one.
And so it is. May the circle never be broken. We release you with so much gratitude to the collective for holding us, for being part of this space today. May the benefits of all that's been practiced and shared among us spread outward and contribute to the happiness, well-being, and prosperity of all of life. We invite you to go off now and enjoy whatever's next for you in your day, your nourishment and rest and creative explorations. Thank you so much for being part of us. Big, big love.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you for the journey.
Thank you all for being here.